as an explanation, our third team member is still very available, so we will continue on.
Sorry to hear.
Thank you.
Alright, so if I may start, Team Pitbull consultation. The duration of the semi-finals this time will be 15 minutes as before. This will be strictly adhered to. However, this time you have 15 minutes of presentation time, and during this 15 minutes, the judges are allowed to stop your presentation and ask you questions. So be prepared for this. After 10 minutes on this clock, I'll raise up the 5 minutes time to show you. I'll show that you have 5 minutes left. And basically, once at the 14th minute, which means that there's only 1 minute left on this, I'll show the 1 minute sign. There will be no 30-second sign this time, so do not expect it. Okay, if that's the case, then we can now begin the presentation. Team Pitbull. Good luck. You may now begin.
It's no small feat to conquer the giants, but we do it every day. Small startups go up against superstores, and regular humans tackle the biggest challenges that humanity faces: hunger, poverty, disease. We're Pitbull Consulting. My name is Katrina Rudisell, and I'm joined today by Lauren Lee, and we put this presentation together with our teammate Connor Lang. And we asked ourselves, how can GAP disrupt the transportation service to serve the unserved needs of 620 million people? How can we change the game and change the way that we do this industry? Introducing our solution. We are recommending the implementation of 2 in-app features, Grab Access and Grab Care. Grab Access brings the demand of the taxi service to the drivers. It is a way to reduce time taxis are waiting empty and increase driver income, better serving the needs of one of our key stakeholders. The second part, Grab Care, making the sharing economy a caring economy and rethinking what it can be done within a 15-minute taxi ride. This project will roll out within 6 months and is expected to have an MPV of $31,000. We consider several alternatives when thinking of a solution for how Grab can distinguish itself as a market leader and a socially responsible and impactful company. We thought about partnering with health insurance companies or expanding our already existing network of drivers to be a courier service. However, we decided that these alternatives were either unfeasible or already being done by Grab. So today, we want to walk through our solution with you, tell you how it is impactful, why it matters, and of course, how it is a feasible project. Let's start with thinking of the first feature, Grab Access. Say I'm a taxi driver, and Lauren here requests a ride from the school back to our hotel. I go to pick her up as usual, and on our way over to the hotel, our system lets people in that area know that I'm on my way. The typical way that the app works is it will only show taxis available when they are empty, instead of letting people know when one will be available in 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Through Grab Access, people can opt into push notifications during a specified time period. Say they're at work and they can leave and be flexible between 5 and 6 o'clock. They just want a taxi ride home. By putting in their request for a push notification, when I'm nearby, they can know. Or they can know when I'm on my way and get ready to leave. We wanted to really think of how we could utilize the 42,500 hours spent in transit daily. These hours are spent in the back of the car, and while looking out the window here in Singapore is absolutely beautiful, how else could we use that time and help our passengers use that time? One example is to bring volunteering into a taxi cab. We recommend partnering with an application called Free Rice. Free Rice is just one example of e-volunteering opportunities that can be done anywhere you have access on your phone. For Free Rice specifically, people answer trivia questions or math questions or vocab questions. And for every correct answer, 10 grains of rice is donated. This will allow our passengers, through the application that already exists, to earn care credits, credits that they can build up and redeem towards their next ride. If every passenger in the Grab network were to answer just one question per trip, we could provide over 8,000 meals to people in need per month. So let's think about how all these systems interact with the already existing app that Grab has. A passenger looking for a ride opts into the Grab Access notifications. Say Connor, our teammate, is back at the hotel and is ready to come back and support us. He can opt in and say, anytime in the next hour, I want to know when a ride is going to be available to me. As a driver, as I drop off Lauren, I can pick him up on the spot. Connor knows my estimated time of arrival, and the GPS already knows the distance that I've traveled and where I am going.
Sorry, can I ask you a question? Do you think that this actually is going to alter the overall demand? So is it going to reduce the number of taxis that are needed?
Not necessarily reduce the number of taxis that are needed, but re-optimize how those taxis are currently working. Right now, about 20% of a taxi's time could be spent just looking for the next passenger. Instead of having that time open, we want passengers to fill that, and that is where the sustainability part of our solution comes in.
So is it, I'm not sure I understand that, is it the soon to clear scenario that I'm about to drop somebody and then I will become clear? Or is it more like I share a ride scenario where I have somebody in? Because I think in the second scenario, the overall demand is probably going to drop. So how do you motivate the taxi drivers to allow this or to support you?
Soon to clear. So I know that I already have a fare with Lauren going back to the hotel, but I also know approximately when I'll be ready to take my next ride. That push notification will allow me to pick up a passenger right at the hotel, right as it goes off. The second part of the system is with the Grab Care part. Again, we're recommending working with Free Rice for this. Free Rice will track people's answers and how much rice should be donated, while integrating with the already existing platform to track how much care credits they have earned throughout the solution. It will allow people to accumulate credit and redeem that when they wish. We're getting sources for this system through 3 key partners. One is the passenger. Most importantly, the trip destination. Second is the already existing system that tracks taxis in real time and helps us get that estimated time of arrival. Third is our partner. Again, Free Rice, but it could be a different organization. Some sort of thing to help us calculate what care credits people are earning towards reduction. We want to do good well and do well good. That's why we have 2 parts of our solution. To provide access to taxis and increase efficiency, helping our drivers make more money and be more efficient throughout the road. And of course, redefining how people sit in a taxi cab. Instead of playing Tetris on their phone, perhaps they can help and alleviate world hunger. These small changes can add up quickly. 15 minutes playing Free Rice could earn 1,000 grains of rice, and those add up over time. If everyone, as we said, in the Grab existing network were to answer just one question, the Grab network could provide 8,000 meals a month. For our drivers, if they had a decreased vacancy hours of approximately 3 each day, they could earn an additional $3,600 in yearly revenue per driver. Grab Access not only works to help our drivers, but in the long run could facilitate infrastructure in a way that could decrease the number of private cars on the road. Grab Cares to work together with that helps alleviate world hunger and changes the way people are riding in a taxi.
Who's going to provide the funding for Grab Care?
For the Grab Care, the rice is provided through the United Nations World Food Program. They're the ones that originally own the site and who we recommend partnering with. There's banner ads at the bottom of each answer that's correct, and that's how they generate revenue. We additionally recommend having 1 out of every 10 ad be from a sponsor from Grab to help facilitate or help pay for the credits.
And how do you motivate people to play these games? Like, how do you rely on people will do this? Like, you had some ambitious calculations. And,
we haven't done the specific calculations of how to motivate people, but Singaporeans, which is where we recommend phasing this out, have a increased number of volunteers in their community and a very high donor percentage rate.
Is it true?
Yes, the
Because
national...
I actually saw that, it's just the opposite. Singapore, compared to its wealth, is actually very low ranked in terms of ability and willingness to donate.
That is rising, is the trend that we are hoping to capitalize on. There is more marketing going into the benefits of volunteering from the, I'm going to get the agency wrong, so I'm not going to say it, but there is a trend, an increased trend with volunteering.
Regarding the incentives, you have incentive for the customers, passengers to engage in that game, isn't it? 20 cents, something like that. You have an example earlier on in the slide. Yeah.
It would be relative to the number of correct answers.
Correct answer. So each time the passenger takes part in the quiz, on one hand, you will contribute towards the rice being donated from the UN program. On the other hand, you will gain credits for the future rice. Is that your idea?
Yes. So motivating not only for their intrinsic value of helping end world hunger, but also working towards keeping them within the Grab network. They're building up credits.
So it's a form of a loyalty program?
In many ways.
And have you estimated how much of funding that we need for this special loyalty program? Based on the user rights, based on the passengers' data, trips? Is there a specific number that we're looking at? Because Grab will have to come up with that budget, isn't it? For the redemption of 20 cents per passenger ride time.
So I can turn into the financials.
Right.
Let me use this. And so in answering your question, right now, the way that we would sponsor this is through the ads, as we mentioned, at the bottom of the banner. And we basically calculated that the partnership itself would be very, very low cost. And so the development is already in place. And we would be taking the code that is already available and using it in our app. And it would be mutually beneficial. And so there would be low cost. The cost that is there would be kind of balanced out by the revenue that is made through the advertisements that are already in the application. And these advertisements would come from, well, if you've never seen the Free Rice website itself, it does have advertisements. And so we are going to be providing for those sponsors as well. And then for every 10, like on the 10th ad, we would have a sponsor of our own that we would partner with. And that sponsor would provide maybe 10 cents for every 100 views. And in doing that, we would be able to make, just by an additional 28 trips a day, we would be able to make back all of our costs. And so, if I could cover this briefly, just 28 more trips in one day, and there are over 170,000 trips taking place already, all the time, every single day through Grab app, and we could make a 16.
But the 170,000 is all in Singapore, or that's
This is based in Singapore.
just business?
Yes, it's based in Singapore. Yeah. Would you like to go back to it?
Absolutely. So to reiterate, overall, the benefits of the solution come to the drivers, to the partnerships through the United Nations World Food Program, and also to our passengers, providing them with more efficient service.
So the implementation is going to take about 6 months, and we want this to be a phased rollout, which means we are going to start in Singapore, and then in the future, we can choose whether we want to roll it out further if this is successful. So for the 6 months, we're going to start with establishing a partnership with a charity, and the charity we would like to recommend is Free Rice, as Katrina has iterated a little bit on. And then we'd like to engage sponsors to continue the ads and the banner the bottom of the application. We're also going to be using change management from the very beginning. That means that we're going to be informing drivers straight away on the changes that we're going to be making. And then we're going to be promoting Grab access and Grab care through the backseat of a taxi driver's car, little signs, through push notifications, and through as many methods as possible to not only let passengers know of the change, but also promote this new app. And then we're going to design and develop the app itself, which is a shorter time frame of about 4 months because we're basing it on a platform that is already here. In order to mitigate the risks, we recommend strong, clear communication. And so the risks of social, financial, and even strategic can all be mitigated with strong incentives and promotions and communication. And as we mentioned before,
Please finish the last sentence.
as we mentioned before, all you need is 28 more trips to make this a successful plan.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please exit from the right.
Thank you for the presentation.